Okay, what this video is designed to show you is how to self-administer and then score the QuickFind Leisure Lifestyle Survey assessment tool. So what you'll need to have is a hard copy of the QuickFind, and you'll also need two different colored writing instruments. So a black or a blue pen and perhaps a red pen. Two things that will look quite different from one another on paper. The other thing that would be helpful is two different colored highlighters. You could definitely use just one colored highlighter, but if you have two different colored ones, you might find that helpful as well. All right, so what I'm going to walk you through is how to fill this out on yourself. So the second page of the tool includes the directions for QuickFind. So you want to take a look at that on your page. And what you're going to do is first pay attention to the Part 1 rating scale. Okay, Part 1 looks at what you like to do. So you're going to pick up one of your writing tools, and let's say the darker colored pen, and you are going to look at the following page, which has 28 different activities or combinations of activities, questions that you're going to respond to. First of all, using that rating scale about what I like to do. Okay, so the rating scale about what I like to do, you'll see that if you like an activity very much, you're going to circle number 5. If you dislike it very much, you're going to circle number 1, and then you'll see the other things in between. All right, so go ahead with that first colored pen, and you're going to go through the 28 questions with that initial rating scale. So just to give you an example then, for question number 1, which is about playing games such as shuffleboard or pool, if I like those activities very much, I'm going to circle a number 5. Moving on to question number 2, which is about going camping, picnicking, or hiking. If I dislike those activities, I'm going to circle number 2, and I'm going to go all the way through the 28 activities using that first rating scale about what you like to do. Okay, once you've gone all the way through those 28 activities for the first time, you're going to pick up the other colored pen, so your red pen this time, and you're going to look at the instructions on the rating scale for Part 2, which is about what you really do. Okay, the first part dealt with how much you like different activities. The second part deals with how frequently you engage in the different activities. So you'll see for this one, then a rating of 5 means that you do it regularly now, where a rating of 1 is I have never done it, and then the different things in between. Okay, so keeping that rating scale in mind, keeping that next to you while you fill it out, actually both the rating scales while you fill them out would be helpful. You're going to go back to that same sheet, and you need to really try to discount what you circled the first time you went through things, and try not to let that influence you at all in your responses. Okay, so now again thinking about what you really do. So going back to question number 1, playing games such as shuffleboard or pool, it is something that I have tried once or twice, so I would circle a number 2. Question number 2, going camping, picnicking, or hiking, it is something that I do it occasionally now. Okay, you're going to go all the way through the 28 activities that way. Okay, so now you should have the sheets filled out with circles twice in 2 different colored pens for each of the 28 activities. The final step now is you are going to graph your results, right? So the final page of QuickFind looks like this. And what you need to focus in on to start are the numbers across the middle here. Okay, so you'll see that the first one is about question number 15, which is playing games such as charades or Twister. So what you're going to end up with actually are 2 different graphs here, one about what you like to do and one about what you really do. So again, going back, question number 15, if in your first colored pen that you used, your black or your blue pen, that was an activity that you liked, you circled it with a 4, okay, you're going to shade in up to there. Okay, the next one is question number 11, which is playing games such as darts or horseshoes. Okay, if it was something that you disliked, okay, you had circled number 2, you're going to shade in up to there, and so on. Okay, I do find it easier to work across with these numbers here rather than going numerically from the question sheet, but you can figure out what works best for you. But that's what I would recommend. Okay, work across the numbers here, fill in the entire first graph, and then once that's filled in, you're going to do exactly the same thing, but now looking at your responses the second time you circled things. So if you used a red pen, okay, you're going to look at the things that you circled with red, and again, you're going to go ahead and graph those. So again, number 15, when you were looking at what you really do, maybe it was something that you have never done. Okay, you had circled a 1, you would shade in 1 square, the next one, oops, it's a bad angle, you shaded in, you had circled a 3, so you're going to shade in 3 squares, and then 5 squares, etc. Okay, if you do have a different colored highlighter, I do find that it just helps you look at the contrast a little bit better if you use 2 different colored highlighters for the graph. Okay, so you're going to go all the way through with your 28 questions, completing the second graph as well. When you're finished doing both of those, you're going to end up with a final page that looks something like this. What it allows you to do is to really compare for people their interests as compared to what they actually participate in. So what you're trying to look at is, are there consistencies? Are there inconsistencies? And then what do those mean, and how might you be able to use that information with the individual that you're assessing? So for example, there might be something that somebody really likes a whole lot, they like it very much, but then when you look at the second graph, it's something that they've only tried once or twice. Or maybe it's something that they used to do, but they don't do it anymore. So there's an opportunity, potentially, for an activity or a group of activities that might be meaningful or of interest to that person that you could capitalize on. Conversely, you might see something that, again, might be some cause for questioning or follow-up, where perhaps there's an activity that an individual does regularly now, but they dislike it very much. So why is it that they're doing that activity that they dislike very much on a regular basis? So again, something that you might choose to explore with that individual. Okay, so those are the instructions for the quick find. Again, to summarize the steps, you are going to go through each of the 28 questions, and you're going to circle your responses twice on the same sheet of paper. Okay, go first all the way through the 28 questions, thinking about the rating scale of what you like to do, okay, using a dark colored pen. And then you're going to go through it a second time with a red or lighter colored pen, circling again the same questions about what you really do. I do find it helpful to perhaps write at the top of the sheet the color coding, so like was in black on this example, and what you really do was in red. Okay, you're going to go through that twice, and then you will graph the results. That will look something like that. Okay, make sure you put your name at the top of that and the date that it was filled out. And those are the instructions for the quick find. Enjoy.